Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. We're here toward the end of October. Winter's approaching. We're getting down in the low 30s at night. I think you're saying 20s. Maybe some snow coming this couple more days. So, winter's up on us. We just moved the sheep. We had them on a strip here behind us, and they were on about 3 acres here. We had the cows here probably, I don't know, 12, 14 days ago. And you can tell the cow manure, it's already, it's still kind of juicy. It's not completely dried up, but it's a little bit juicy. So we brought the sheep in, and 3 days. They were on here 3 days. There's about, I don't know, 160 females in there. Ewes and ewe lambs, and we've got a handful of withers in there too, which would be ones that will be processing next year. But if you look at this graze line, I think there's something that needs to be cleared up with. There's been a lot of writings. I hear it all the time that you can add 100 sheep in with 100 cows and you'll never miss the forage. Well, that's not exactly true. So you newbies out there that are just starting out, I wanted to show you, sheep do eat grass, and they also eat clover. And so if you're running 100, let's just say you're stocked correctly and you've got 100 cows on your farm, and I'll just go get me 100 sheep throw in there and we'll be fine. No, they're going to eat more. The sheep are going to be competing with your cows. So to be safe, you can run 7 of these sheep for 1 cow. So if you want to bring in 100 sheep, you need to get rid of some cows, okay, to keep your stocking rate correctly stocked. Otherwise, you're going to run out of feed. But the sheep are so aggressive on the sprouts. I mean, you look out through there isn't any sprouts, or not anything that's got leaves on it. I mean, the sheep have cleaned all that off. We do have a fence that we had in just one single wire. Casey just rolled it up. And there they are on this next piece. So we've got, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3. There's about 3 acres of grass on this paddock as well. And so, again, one wire, the sheep are being moved, and we're controlling them. Now, this is a big farm. There's 160 acres in here. It doesn't have any sheep fence on it anywhere. So we've never been able to run sheep on it. Well, now that we've got our sheep broke to one single wire, we absolutely can do that. So you don't even need any fence. You got your sheep broke to one 10-inch wire, you can go up and put up your paw, and you're in the sheep business, folks. I'm going to walk you down here and show you exactly what we've done down here. We put in a permanent wire, and this actually goes down through a cedar grove, kind of on the edge of the cedars. So in the wintertime, the cattle are in here, they've got some cover. And when you run a new fence, you get down in the middle of the cedars, you don't have to worry about brush growing on your fence, because the cedars won't let anything grow in there. So we took our 2.5-inch foam-filled corner post. This is a 2.5-inch diameter. That post is probably 7 feet long, so there's 4 foot of it in the ground. Now there's 2 hot wires on that, and this goes down this ridge probably close to, that's a good half a mile to the other end. Now with cattle, we only need this wire, okay? But with sheep, we went ahead and added the 10-inch wire down here. And so it's in. And the boys can, we got a power source here now on top of our hill. We can go this way, which is back south, or we can go back north. We've got power right here on our farm. We used to have to put all this in with reels. And so if you can strategically place a few of these throughout your farm, you're not out there all the time putting in posts and taking up posts. This saves Casey and Alex hours of putting in fence. It's just a wonderful thing. So they put in a wire right here. That's cold. It's hooked on this end, and it's going on around the farm, and it's hooked at the far end down here where we have our sawmill. It's going to hook in down there, and we didn't have to worry about power. So, and these are all fiberglass posts. You come on down in the woods here, you can see. So, anywhere we make a bend, Folks, this fiberglass rod here is a 5-footer. It can take the bend on 2 high tensile wires. Look how tight that is. It's like a fiddle string. If you look on down in the woods here, it makes bends all down through this woods like this. It's just constantly bending back and forth because of the way the ridge is shaped. You got to bend, grab you one of these 5-footers, drive it into the ground. You don't need a corner post. That's a 7/8 inch epoxy fiberglass rod, and it's 5 foot long, but over 2.5 foot of it's in the ground. I mean, look at that. That sucker is stiff, but yet if a deer hits it and bends it over, it bends back up. I do like timeless fence for this as well. The timeless post, you know, if you can't find these posts and you got to pay shipping or whatever, the timeless, they can ship them right to your farm, and they've got this type of post. Only it's in the shape. It's in the shape of a T-post, a metal T-post. It's already got the holes drilled in it, and it's already got a PV. It's got a sun UV protection in it, so you don't have to paint them either. So if you can't find fiberglass, you know, we do sell some of these corner posts, these 5-footers, but you know, the shipping can get pretty expensive. They're heavy. You got to go a long distance. You know, timeless posts are lighter and they're very flexible. So that's another avenue you can look at. But you do need 2 wires for cattle and sheep. This is our 32 inch, and why is it 32? It's because I can step over it. That's my height. If you're a shorter person, you might want to have that 28 inches. Okay, I like to be able to step over my fence. Okay. And I got to give a disclaimer for the clothes that I'm wearing. I'm sorry. I just love beat up clothes. Okay? So, people say, but Greg, I know you can afford a pair of coveralls. Folks, I've got about 5 of these. They're kind of like an old coat or a pair of pants. You just don't get rid of them. They're comfortable, all right? And I'm warm in them. I'm good to go. But anyway, the sheep will be on this next paddock for 3 days. We're approaching deer season here in 2 weeks. So we need to get them out of here. We're going to get them up by the road where there's no trees. You know, when the hunters come in, they pull up. Or when they come there to hunt in the morning, the dogs aren't barking at them. It's all stuff like that. When you have hunter landowners, you've got to be aware of that type thing. You can't have your livestock where people are hunting. It's just not going to work. You're probably not going to keep that hunting lease. So anyway, this is Greg Judy signing off. Everyone have a good one.